Okay, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this afternoon. So today, or this is another entry in my ongoing participation in the RPG a Day exercise. Today's question is, how do you find out about new RPGs? So this is actually a pretty quick question. I can't imagine this entry is going to be terribly long. I don't have any long backstories to lead into this. I guess nowadays, well, maybe I do have some backstory to go into this. So the old days, when we, wanted to find new RPGs, if it wasn't in one of the major trade publications, I mentioned yesterday about seeing the ads for Dark Sun in my friendly local gaming store back in the day. That's how we sort of found out about the games, was by word of mouth in the gaming shops or through the trade magazines like Dragon or White Wolf or Traveler or White Dwarf to a degree. Nowadays, we're living in a bit of a golden age of it because there's all sorts of different ways we can find out about great new games. And also because games are being released in a very, very different way now. Some, through traditional means where they're being published and directly released through, brick and mortar stores. Some are kickstarted. Some are just released directly onto what do you call it? It's like digital distribution sites like DriveThruRPG or RPG Now. For me, looking back in the last couple of years, here's how I find out about new games. And it's a bit, I'd say it's a bit half and half between in-person stuff and things online. Things online. I am fortunate. I have once a week, I have a client meeting that takes me very close to my friendly local gaming store. So perhaps bad for my pocketbook, but good for the for me having new RPGs and good for my. Oh, it's okay, sweetie. My dog is upset that I'm recording again. The friendly local gaming store I swing by once a week, and I take a look and see what new stuff is in. Sometimes that is just, neat new books for a game that I'm already supporting. Hey, Amy, no barking. No barking. Amy, that's enough. That's enough. Amy is really displeased that I'm recording. So I mean, that's been the way. The Iron Kingdoms RPG was something I discovered in the new releases section of my store. As much as I was tied in at the time to a lot of RPG sites like RPG.net and EN World, or I can't remember what it's called now. Maybe that's what it's called now. But anyway, so that was pretty cool. Newest edition of Legend of the Five Rings I found in a similar manner too. Stumbled across it in my friendly local gaming store. Other things, I mean, it's been either, word of mouth through Google Plus communities or through some of the YouTube channels that I follow as well. When I hear someone mention a game, one game that I found, I'm certain I found out about online rather than in brick and mortar was Blades in the Dark. It's a game I recently got into, and I think it's a really, really great game. Plays really fun, runs really fun as well. And I stumbled across that through one of the YouTube channels. I think I saw the name of it, and then I did a search for the game. I think it was John Harper's name that was bandied about on it, and I did a search for the game, and then watched a couple live plays, and then I backed that on Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a great source for. It's not really great for poking around, but it's good because Kickstarter seems to be something people are happy to talk about because they want to get more people supporting it so they can get more stretch goals. It's a great way of finding out about new RPG stuff that's coming out. Like, for instance, again, Google, usually it's indirectly, I guess it's mostly through the Google Plus communities, but I found out about the new Eclipse Phase edition that was coming out through the Eclipse Phase Google Plus community. I found out about supplements for the Shadow of the Demon Lord game through, again, the Shadow of the Demon Lord Google Plus community. So, yeah. So there's that. And then one other thing I thought I'd mention is if you're interested in keeping on top of what, kind of what games are out there or what's been gone, in addition to sort of those sources, I'd sign up for the Origins awards as well. Because I must have done that at some point, and I honestly don't know when it was. But what they'll do is they'll send you out a ballot with a list of all the different games that are on there. And this year, I can't remember if there was anything that I found. This year, I was more chagrined that there wasn't any, there wasn't more, Conan products on there, because I'm very biased towards Modiphius's new game. But the year before, though, there was one of the supplements that I think it's Pagan Press that puts it out. I may have that wrong, but anyway, I think it's Pagan Press. Put out a supplement for the Night's Black Agents game called the Dracula Dossier, and for whatever reason, I mean, like I dig on vampires, so I checked that out, and that's one of my favorite gaming products I've ever purchased. Like it's something I genuinely enjoy reading. There's so many cool ideas in it. Now, if you're not familiar with it, it's this parent game that it's for is a game called Night's Black Agents, which is kind of the elevator pitch for it is like Jason Bourne meets vampires. You are playing hyper competent secret agent types who are dealing in a world where there's a vampiric conspiracy, and the vampiric conspiracy is really whatever your DM wants it to be. And the Dracula Dossier is a massive book that can be used to support an improv campaign where you're basically, the DM is also seeing how the campaign, the conspiracy is coming together at the same time the players are, or I mean, very, very shortly before the players. Or alternatively, it gives you just a ton of great resources to set up a very, very cool espionage, vampiric horror sandbox campaign. So I only found out about that book and that game actually because of the Origins Awards. And I think there was something else this year. Masks I had gotten into as well through, I think, one of the YouTube channels I watched. They were doing a sample in that. So I guess that's actually a major source of that too. Social media is one of the biggest ways that I've been hearing about new games that I get interested in. So I guess that it's a trifecta. So it's for me, Google Plus, the various YouTube channels that I follow, and the brick and mortar store too, just popping in and seeing what's there. I picked up, like for instance, I have not really seen much buzz about it, but I picked up a game called Polaris, which is a French game. It's kind of a post-apocalyptic thing that's set underwater. I didn't really end up really digging the game all that much, but I did pick it up, and it's a really beautiful book, and I can see where there would be, it's not that the game isn't good, it's just that the game is just not for me. So I found out about that way. So I think that's about all I've got to say. I can't think of any other ways that I found out about new RPGs. There used to be back in the day when people would gift you games, that you hadn't heard, or you go to the weird shelf. I'm fortunate to live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and we have a phenomenal gaming store here called the Sentry Box. And the Sentry Box is effectively like, I think it lays claim to the largest gaming store in North America, just in terms of sheer square footage for it. But there's really no obscure game that you really can't find, at the very least some supplements. So often you can find the core book for. I've had times when I really just wanted to, get my hands on a copy of the 90s version of Sky Realms of Jorune, and I'm almost always confident I can go down and pick that up. Or like a 90s copy of Talislanta, or recently I got back into Twilight 2000, so I went down and picked up a bunch of first edition modules that they had there, and so that's another sort of fortunate thing, is that I guess not only finding out about RPGs, but being able to actually physically pick them up, it's really helpful having, and I know you can pick them up on RPG Net or DriveThru RPG or RPG Now, where you can get electronic copies. But I love books. I love having my stack of gaming books that I can, page through. I just don't enjoy reading it, or I don't have the same experience when I'm dealing with it online. I'll take that over nothing, obviously, but I really do prefer print versions whenever possible. So anyway, so that's it. I kind of rambled and wandered a bit in that answer, but that is my answer. Tomorrow we'll be dealing with the next question, which is what have I played most since August of 2016? So I'm looking forward to that. Hope the week is treating you all well, and hope to see you again tomorrow.